Sega is a multinational video game developer, publisher, and hardware manufacturer with a rich history spanning several decades. From its inception as an arcade game manufacturer to its foray into home video game consoles and beyond, Sega has left an indelible mark on the gaming industry. In this blog, we will take a journey through the history of Sega, exploring its origins, its successes, and its setbacks. Origins of Sega. Sega was founded in 1940 in Honolulu, Hawaii, as Standard Games, which produced coin-operated amusement machines, including slot machines and jukeboxes. In 1951, the company moved to Tokyo, Japan, and changed its name to Service Games. The company initially focused on supplying slot machines to U.S. military bases in Japan, but it eventually expanded into other forms of coin-operated entertainment, including pinball machines and arcade games. Rise of Sega as an arcade game manufacturer. In the 1970s, Sega began to focus on arcade game development, producing games such as Periscope, a submarine simulator game, and Pongtron, a two-player version of the classic game Pong. In 1978, Sega released its first major hit game, a space shooter called Space Invaders. This game helped establish Sega as a major player in the arcade game industry. In the 1980s, Sega continued to release popular arcade games, including Zaxxon, a 3D shooter, and Afterburner, a flight simulator game. In 1985, Sega introduced the arcade game Outrun, which was a breakthrough in video game technology. It used custom hardware that allowed for high-speed sprite-based graphics and realistic sound effects. Outrun became a huge success and helped establish Sega as a leader in arcade game technology. Sega's foray into home video game consoles. In 1983, Sega released its first home video game console, the SG-1000. However, it failed to gain much traction in the market, largely due to competition from Nintendo's hugely popular Famicom console, known as the Nintendo Entertainment System in the United States. Undeterred, Sega continued to release home consoles, including the Sega Master System in 1985 and the Sega Genesis, known as the Mega Drive in Japan and Europe, in 1988. The Genesis was a huge success, thanks in part to its aggressive marketing campaign, which included the famous slogan, "Genesis does what Nintendo don't." The Genesis had several hit games, including Sonic the Hedgehog, which became Sega's flagship franchise. In the 1990s, Sega continued to release home consoles, including the Sega CD, an add-on for the Genesis that allowed for CD-based games, and the Sega Saturn. However, Sega's fortunes began to decline in the mid-1990s due to several factors, including competition from the Sony PlayStation and a lack of third-party developer support. Sega's transition to a third-party developer in 2001, Sega announced that it would discontinue production of its Dreamcast console, effectively exiting the hardware market. Instead, Sega focused on developing games for other platforms such as the PlayStation 2, Xbox, and GameCube. Sega also began to release its classic games as downloadable titles on various digital platforms, including Xbox Live Arcade and the PlayStation Network. Today, Sega continues to develop and publish games for a variety of platforms, including consoles, PC, and mobile devices. The company has released several successful titles in recent years, including the Yakuza series, Persona 5, and Sonic Mania. In conclusion, Sega's history is a testament to the ever-changing landscape of the gaming industry, from its origins as a coin-operated machine manufacturer to its rise as a major